Hey, this is Wolf from Armoury-Terrain, and I was going to go out and make something tonight, but it's kind of soggy out there and dark, and I don't wanna. So instead, I thought I'd touch on a topic that several people have asked me about. They've gone, hey Wolf, do you have any swords we can use for a photo shoot or for a movie? And the answer is kind of. Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you all of my sword-like objects. I'm not including any gardening tools like machetes and cane knives or pocket knives or any of the foam or plastic weapons that I've made, just the steel ones. And why I'm saying sort of to the do you have any swords we can borrow is that all but one of my swords are only sword-like objects. So let's have a look at some of them, shall we? Let's start off with this beast of a sword. I've got no idea where it's meant to have come from. I inherited this one. It has the clay marks for a katana, but it's a straight blade. It also has a square guard. So I've never seen a sword like this in any historical documentation ever. So if anyone has seen one, please let me know. Also, I just put it in the wrong way around. Much better. In the vein of dodgy Asian swords that I inherited, I also inherited a set of 3 katana, which, you know, for photo shoots, be great. Even for movie shoots where you're not swinging weapons at each other, they're not too bad. But please don't think that they're real swords that can cut things, because they're not. Let's go more European now. I have a high quality Crusader style sword. Wow, when I say high quality, I'm completely being sarcastic. This sword actually locks into the scabbard, and the gimmick was that it used to have a spring in the base. So when you unlocked it, it'd jump up 2 inches. But as it got older, I found that the bottom piece here kept being pushed off the end of the scabbard. So the spring just had to go. But Wolf, I hear you say, aren't you a pirate? Don't you have any pirate swords? Well, yeah, I do. I have a cutlass. Nice, short, heavy-bladed sword for close-in fighting. Not too long so it doesn't get hung up on all the rigging and downstairs in the ship and so forth. Possibly this one could actually be sharpened as a zombie weapon, but it's not exactly high quality steel, so probably best not to. And it doesn't want to go in at all. It shows what happens when you leave a sword in the damp for months on end. Since I'm pulling out piratey stuff, I also have to show you this one. This one is a nylon waster, which means it's used by most of the HEMA groups for combat training. It's the same weight and size as a sword, and yeah, they're not bad. So if you actually have to do combat, these are great for training your actors, and then you change on to the metal swords for actual filming. So that's all my sword-like objects. Now for my actual sword, which is this one, which is an 1822 pattern British infantry officer sword, which is a very nice piece of work. It's actually older than the state of Queensland. Actually, the first issue of this sword actually was before even the first survey of Queensland for a penal colony. That's how old this sword is. Now, besides the long swords, well, none of them are actually long swords, but besides the swords that I also have a couple of daggers, including this one, which claims to be a Turkish sword, but in my mitts, it's just a dagger. It's got a nice scabbard though. I also have a medieval knight's dagger, which is all sorts of pointy and designed for going in between chinks in armour. And then we have this. This is definitely a fantasy knife, but it's been used once or twice for photo shoots, for sacrificial daggers and witches' blades and other things like that. It's definitely one of those things that you could stab somebody with once, and then after pulling it out you've probably got too much wrapped around it to stab them again. But this one I've completely taken the edge off, so hopefully, unless somebody sticks it into somebody, none of the actors would be able to hurt themselves on it. And that brings us down to our last knife of the night, which is this pig sticker, which is just your standard single-edged, heavy-bladed knife with a skinning knife on the sheath. Now, all of these knives, plus a bunch of other weapons that I've made, you know, swords, spears, battle axes, you name it, I've probably got in my collection, is available for hire for film shoots and camera shoots and so forth. Anywhere where you need a sword or a weapon to pose with and not actually beat each other with. So anyway, this is Wolf from Armoury-Terrain, just showing off some of my toys.